Welcome to the cEDH Initial Feedback Podcast. We're missing triggers. I'm Tim.
I'm Kirk, and we're commanding all battlefields.
We're back with another podcast, and today we're doing our first cEDH set review for Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
Allow us to introduce the missing triggers rating system for cEDH cards. First up is does not meet expectations. We don't think this card will see a lot of play. If it does, it's in lowered colored decks only. Think Triome lands. Next up is meets expectations. This card is similar to another card that does the same thing. Decks that want redundancy will take another copy even if it's a little worse than the original. Think Wheel of Misfortune versus Wheel of Fortune. Next is exceed some but not all expectations. This card possibly is better than a similar card you're playing already. We think it will see play in a good amount of decks, similar to Vampiric Tutor versus Imperial Seal. Finally, there's exceeds most, if not all, expectations. We're saying this card will be a staple and will see play in whatever decks are in that color. Think Rhystic Study, Mana Crypt, Demonic Tutor, etc.
Enjoy the set review.
All right, so we're going to break down these cards. We're going to go in Wooburg order. You good with that?
You know it.
All right, let's start it off. The first one I want to talk about is called Final Showdown. It's 1 white mana, and it has a new thing called Spree, where you can do different modes if you pay more costs. The first one is +1 colorless. All creatures lose all abilities till end of turn. A different one for +1 colorless. Choose a creature you control. It gains indestructible till end of turn. And then the last one is for 3 colorless and 2 more white. Destroy all creatures. What do you think?
Well, the spree ability, that's a new feature here that we haven't seen before. So you can choose one or more of them. You have an instant speed destroy board wipe, essentially.
6 mana, yeah. 6 mana is pretty steep.
It is steep. That's for
It is
sure.
steep, but it would be cool to do that. So this reminds me, I'm really only focused on the first ability. All creatures lose all abilities till end of turn. So that's 2 mana, 1 white, 2 mana. You can turn off Dockside. You can turn off Thousands Oracle and ETBs, all that stuff. So it's similar to that enchantment that now escapes my mind. It's called Dress Down. 1 blue and a colorless.
So do you cast this in response?
Yep, you cast it in response to a Thousands Oracle or a Dockside,
or
and nothing, and they get nothing from it. The only thing with Dress Down is you draw a card. Dress Down replaces itself, but it doesn't have these extra abilities.
Yeah, that's true. It has some flexibility. So you can shut off the ETBs or any ability of like any other creatures besides the ETBs. There's like like Kennen, his abilities.
Yep. Sisse, you could do it in response to a Sisse one, like I guess in response to the first activation, then shut it off so you can't keep going. But
That's true. It says all abilities, so it's not even activated abilities. So it can shut off like Winota, Nagilla, everybody.
Yeah, it just makes them vanilla creatures.
That's true. So I think that's pretty good. Whenever
yeah, the more I read it, the more I think I like it. Now, will I play it? I don't know. Like I feel like the best way we learn how our cards are good or not is did someone use it against us and whoop us with it? That's how we learn.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would use it in a 5-color deck, but maybe I could definitely see my.
Do you play Dress Down in any decks?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I don't do anything to shut off ETBs for any of my decks.
Dress Down's pretty heavily played.
Not me. I don't really. Only thing I really play is like counter spells. I don't really do anything in response to ETBs or creature activations. Unless I'm playing like stacks in Winota, but I could see myself playing that in Winota maybe if I'm being defensive or something like that, or maybe Winota's just getting wiped off the board all the time.
Yeah, I mean, for 2 mana, make something indestructible. All the abilities could be relevant. I think the first one's the best. And if in a dreamland, you'll destroy all the creatures at instant speed for 6 mana.
True. I mean, it's like the equivalent to what It's not as good as Cyclonic Rift because it hits every permanent besides lands
Yeah, and not yours.
and not my own. But I mean,
Not
instant
yours.
speed board wipe.
Yeah,
Sometimes okay.
yeah.
Situational at best, but
All right, let's rate this thing. You're first, man.
that's tough. I like the versatility. I like instant speed. I'll probably never, if I played this card, never use destroy all creatures. But I definitely see myself using the first two. But I think I would just say meets
I think I'm
expectations.
I think I'm with you. I think it's meets expectations. We said it's similar to another card. More often than not, we're going to use it for that first ability. All creatures lose all abilities till end of turn.
Yep.
But if I play dress down and I'm in blue, then I'm going to get a card back from it. So I am also with you on meets expectations. The Avid Interrupter. Read it, man.
All right. So Aven Interrupter is 1 colorless and 2 white, 3 mana total. It is a bird rogue and it has flash and flying. So that's kind of good. Whenever it enters the battlefield, exile target spell, it becomes plotted. So plotted is another new feature.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, spells your opponent's cast from graveyards from exile cost 2 more to cast. So then it kind of hurts graveyard decks too.
A little bit of graveyard
Uh,
hate.
yeah, with that. And I think the plotted thing says its owner may cast it as a sorcery on a later turn without paying its mana cost. So that's kind of good. It's a later turn, so they couldn't cast it again this turn.
But it would cost 2 because spells from exile cost 2 more now with this Aven Interrupter.
That's true. Yeah, it would add 2.
Okay, a flash fire. All right, right off the bat, 2 white pips is a lot to me. And
I
this
guess
reminds
it
me.
depends. Yeah.
This reminds me of a card. Do you remember? One of the most recent sets, Doorkeeper Thrall. It shut off ETBs for flash and 1 white, 1 and a white. It shut off ETBs, and I thought that would see play, and I haven't seen it once.
It's off ETBs. Well, I think this one's kind of good because you exile target spell. So if somebody is
It counters a spell basically. It stops that spell.
yeah,
And then you
stop the spell, then graveyards are shut off. So I think I like that. That's a flash flyer. Flash is good. Then you have a 2/2, flying in the air that nobody's gonna be able to block usually.
Yeah. What
And
decks
then it
do you see
makes
yourself playing this card in? Do you see yourself playing this in Winota? Do you want to counter things?
I mean, I think it could be good in Winota because for one, this gives me a trigger for Winota whenever it attacks. And it has the versatility of shutting off graveyard decks, and then it gives me an opportunity to say no to somebody, which
Yeah.
don't get to do often.
That's true. Do you want to be doing that? Do you want to hold up 3 mana, 2 white?
I mean, once Winota gets rolling, so let's just say in a perfect world, I get Winota out turn 2 or 3 ahead of the curve. And then all I need to do is just play the cheap creatures to get out. Then I get spells out for free, essentially, creatures out. So then in the perfect world, I don't need to cast spells. So then I can just hold this up.
That's true. That's true. Okay. Do you see it being played anywhere else? I don't know if I do. I don't know if I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough too because looking at my decks over to the side, Tivit maybe. I don't know if Tivit needs
But
something like this, but
you have access to blue. You could just counter stuff.
I could just counter it. But then
You could
this
just
thing
counter
counters
stuff.
a spell and makes graveyard hate. So for any of the loops with
Yeah, the graveyard hate. Maybe it's not somewhere looking into. Maybe. I think I'm ready to rate this card.
all right, what do we got for you?
I think this is another meets expectations.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same because I mean I do like it, but I think
Yeah.
there are cards that already do a lot of the same features.
Yeah, and is there room for this card? I don't know. And maybe we're completely wrong. Maybe it shuts us out this weekend.
Yeah.
You
I
never
don't play
know.
graveyard. I don't play anything from graveyards.
It'll be fun to look
Jokes on
back
that.
on this. It'll be fun to come back to this, and I don't know when they come back to Thunder Outlaws of Thunder Junction, back to the plane, and then we could do a re-review of, hey, how'd we do?
Yeah, our first set review, we just bombed it.
All right, we're moving on. The last white card we're going to talk about is an enchantment for 1 white and a colorless called High Noon. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. And then for 4 and a red, sacrifice High Noon. It deals 5 damage to any target. So this is the cheapest rule of law there is. 1 spell per turn. Plenty of things like it. I think the going rate is 3 mana, and now we're at 2 mana. But there is a catch. You have to be in white and red. So I can't think of like Winota. What does Winota play? Rule of law?
I mean the stacks ones do.
The stacks Winotas do. What other stacks are in white and red that play rule of law? Kenrith stacks, although I don't think that's a thing anymore. So you have to be in white and red.
Yeah, that does limit some things.
But it's a cool ability on it. 5 damage to any target, so you can destroy a creature. If you're ready to win the game, you're done playing 1 spell a turn, and you're ready to win the game. Sacrifice it and kill something on the way. That's kind of cool.
Dang, I thought there was another. I'm checking my deck list right now. I thought there was another enchantment that did something similar to this for just 1 white.
Well, an enchantment that does it for 1 white. I know that like Aethersworn Canoness is 2 mana, right?
Deafening silence. Each player can't cast. Oh, this is non-creature. Yeah.
Close.
So yeah.
Close. High Noon.
I mean, yeah, I think it's good for stacks, but it's a bit repetitive on that side of things. And the only time I ever see you cracking it to deal damage to a target is like super important.
Yeah, when you're trying to win, you need to cast your more than 1 spell a turn.
Yeah, so I was about to say you want to unlock yourself too. Because at some point, sometimes you locked out yourself and you're screwed.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides stacks, but there's already a lot of stacks pieces, so I'm not sure if this one stands out any different than the rest.
I don't know. All right, where are you rating this thing?
Yeah, I mean, probably. I feel like I'm saying meets on everything right now. I'm gonna say meets again.
All right, I'm gonna say exceeds some, but not all.
Exceeds some, but not all.
It's 1 mana. It's 1 mana cheaper than Rule of Laws. You have to be in red, but how about I'll say exceed some, but not all, because there's a couple of things you have to meet. You got to be in red, and other than Winota, what other stacks decks are out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think I can see it jumping up to exceed some because it's better than Rule of Law just for the fact that it costs less.
And it has an ability. Has an ability on it.
And then it has an ability. So I think it could jump up to exceed some just for the cost factor and the pinging ability.
All right, it's the best card in the set so far.
Best card in it exceeds some.
I lied, everyone. There's 1 more white card we want to talk about. One more white card.
One more.
Take it away.
All right, the last one we want to talk about is called Requisition Raid. It's 1 white pip. Then it has some spree abilities. It's sorcery speed. But for 1 colorless, you can destroy target artifact. The next spree type, you can destroy target enchantment. Or the last spree, you can put a 1/1 counter on each creature target player controls. So right off the bat, it's cheap. It brings you some early on destroy effects. And then if you're playing in a Creatures Matter deck, you can pump every single creature that you have. Downside, it's sorcery speed.
Sorcery speed. I think that's a big downside. Big downside for me. It is cheap. In Fairy Tale Land, you'll be going 3rd in the turn order or 4th. And you're going to have a Plains, and you're going to cast a Mana Crypt, and then you're going to blow up a Mana Crypt from player 1 and a Mystic Remora on player 2. And then you're going to feel like this is the best card in the game. But other than that, late
No,
game at sorcery speed. I don't know if this is something I want to be doing. 1/1 counters on creatures. What am I doing to combat and win it?
I mean, some decks do. Mainly just for mine is Winota. It's the only one I could see that be happening in.
But
I'm just trying to do some pumps, but that's
do some-
about it.
you'll get the pumps. Rick comes out every time. You get the pumps.
My boy Rick, he comes out bashing skulls.
Yeah. I don't know. But for me, I think this is my first does not meet expectations for me. I don't see anybody playing it. I don't think I'll see it one time.
Not one time. Hey, if I'm
Not-
in the 4th position and 2 out of the 3 players on the first turn like lay down a Rhystic Study and a Mystic Remora, and then I have enough mana to take at least 1 or 2 of these out, I think I'd feel pretty good about that. So,
yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great. It'd be great.
but even yeah, I mean, even late game, I don't know if it would be that big of an impact but just early on, I know it feels so good to take out those crucial pieces that
It would
blue
be nice,
players
yeah.
love.
Take out some
So
artifacts
mine,
on the way.
yeah,
Where
mine
you
would
at?
just be a meets on that. It does,
Another meats.
yeah, it does some good things for me. I'd probably test it out in a deck just to see how it performs.
1 white mana. We're not playing disenchant. That's 2 mana to destroy an artifact or enchantment.
Yeah,
Who's really good at destroying this? Green?
green is
Green. 1 white mana, but then +1. So it ends up being a disenchant.
yeah,
Wouldn't
because
you rather?
yeah,
Yeah,
in
just costs
green it
2 gold.
has good ones. Yeah,
Yeah. Disenchant. At sorcery speed. Disenchant's an instant for 2 mana.
it is. So it's slightly below that, which would it's just meeting for me.
That's meeting. All right, I'll give you a meets. Check it. Meets. It'll meet expectations.
The box is checked.
The box is checked. All right, that's for real. That's the end of us talking about the white cards from Outlaws Thunder Junction. The next color we're going to talk about is obviously blue. I'm gonna be honest, and if we're wrong or just me, then I'll look like a huge fool. But I think blue was cheeks for this set.
The biggest whiff.
The biggest whiff. We're going to talk about something because we have to, I think, right? So I'm going to start with a mythic. It's called Double Down. It's an enchantment. 3 in a blue. Whenever you cast an outlaw spell, copy that spell. Outlaws are assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, and warlocks. So you get a copy of one of those things. What do you think out of those creature types, what do you think the best one is for cEDH? There's only one right answer.
Well, if I'm trying to think of like a theme, and this would be what are ninjas considered?
Ninjas.
Are they just ninjas?
Yeah, I think they're just ninjas. We could do a fact check on like maybe they have a second type like ninja assassin or something. So I think it's pirates. Pirates see play. Malcolm sees a lot of play, but it's legendary. You can't copy it. But Malcolm has friends that maybe you want to copy. Do I see myself
That's true.
playing? I play Malcolm. I got Malcolm Kedis. A lot of pirates in the deck. It might as well be pirate tribal. There are some cool ones that I'd love to copy, but I think I can be doing better things than this enchantment for 4 mana.
Yeah. This is probably on the casual side, people playing tribal decks.
Tribal decks, yeah.
But cEDH, double down. I don't think so.
Does not meet.
Yeah, stamp that bad boy does not meet.
Does not meet. We won't see it. All right, what's the next one?
Next card we got is Archmage's Newt. 1 colorless and 1 blue. It's a creature salamander mount. Whenever this guy deals combat damage to a player, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until end of turn. The flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. That card gains flashback 0 until end of turn. Instead, if this guy is saddled, then saddling feature is also.
It's similar to Crew. It's similar to crewing a vehicle.
Yeah, I don't know if this was an old feature that was brought back from an old like set, or if it's a brand new feature. I don't know, but I thought I remember this was like an old thing that's being brought back from back in the day. I don't know. But for the saddle side of things, you may cast that card from your graveyard for its flashback cost and exile it. And then I don't know. Yeah, saddling is just is it mana cost or toughness or what?
Saddling is like tap any number of other creatures you control with total power of the saddle cost or
The
more.
power.
So it's similar to crewing a vehicle. You're crewing a creature. You're hopping on the saddle. You're hopping on the back of the creature.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. What this is on the list. So flashback 0 if it's saddled. It has to do combat damage, but it's not that hard. A lot of people don't want to block 2/2s even. They don't want to lose their Kinnan. They don't want to lose their Timna. So you can best case scenario get a free demonic tutor.
Yeah, and that's about it.
Free demonic tutor. That's best case scenario. You think it sees play?
Nah.
Does not meet.
Yeah, it's just not good enough. The saddling feature,
Yeah. I'm not tapping down my creatures.
too much work to get that effect in. There's just better ways to get things from your graveyard if you want to do that.
There's better things. There's better things.
Yeah. Stamp it.
Does not meet. Blue, not good so far. All right. Last card for blue, for real. The last blue card we're going to talk about is called 3 Steps Ahead. It's an instant with spree. So for 1 blue, and then the spree costs a colorless and another blue, counter target spell, 3 mana counter. And then for 3 colorless extra, you could create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature you control. And then for +2, draw 2, then discard a card.
Don't like it. Counter a spell for 3 mana. No thanks. There's a
Not
lot
good.
better counter spells.
Create a
Create a
token.
token.
That's a copy.
Yeah,
4
we already
mana.
have.
We have a lot of clones. This would be the worst
Yeah.
clone. This would be the worst one. And then if I'm drawing 2 to discard a card for 3 mana, I lost. This game's a L. I'm losing this game. I played this card, I'm losing.
Yeah, so I'm not seeing any play on the cEDH side of things. There might be really specific decks that play this, I don't know. But I don't see any play for it.
Just the clones deck. A blue, all 3 cards, does not meet.
All blue, yeah. All 3 cards we talked about didn't make the cut.
All right, that wraps up blue.
That wraps up blue.
All right, next color is black. Not bad. Overall, I think, after looking at the set so far. What's the first card we're talking about?
All right, the first card in black is Tiny Bones the Pickpocket. He's back. He's a single black. Legendary creature, Skeleton Rogue. Has Death Touch, and the card reads, whenever Tiny Bones, the Pickpocket, deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target non-land permanent card from that player's graveyard, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell.
Pretty good.
So, straight off rip, it seems pretty good.
Pretty good. We've actually seen it played against us. And the commanders that the person that played it was playing Tim Najeska. And what lucky stars. He stole my Jeweled Lotus multiple times.
Yeah, so we already have live
In-game.
experience.
In-game reps, yeah. It's one mana. All right. Like I said, similar to Ragavan, I'd say. I think it's going to see play. I don't know what I would take out for it in a lot of my decks. I know it's going to go in like Talion. Probably Tim Necrom. I'm just not sure what I take out for it, but I'm pretty sure I'll give it a shot. Best case scenario is that Jeweled Lotus, Mystic Remora, getting something like that.
Yeah, anything that people have to eventually say no, they can't keep it up anymore.
Yep.
Or they crack it.
And Tim Nadex, it's a 1/1 Death Toucher. No one's gonna want to block it. It's just
Hmm.
similar to like Esper Sentinel, and the fact that it's going to stick around. No one wants to kill Esper Sentinels, and sometimes it gets you a lot of value. This can get you a lot of value if there's some good non-land permanents in other people's graveyards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, I think it's a pretty good card. The only hindrance is you just need things to people's graveyards, but I would say it exceeds some, but
Same.
not all.
That's what I'm at too. Yeah, it's is it a staple? No, I don't. It's not and it might be, but I would say no right now. It's not a
Yeah.
staple, but it's gonna go in a lot of decks. Here's one. Is it gonna go in Sisse?
This it is a legendary. It gives me that. So I mean it's pretty good. I mean, I'm always down to test out cards. I'll probably test this out in Sisse, Tivit, things
Yeah.
that
And especially if you could steal a Jeweled Lotus off of somebody and for Tivit, wow, wowee.
that's true.
All right, exceed some, not all. Tiny Bones joins up for 1 black mana, a legendary enchantment. When this card enters the battlefield, any number of target players discard a card. Whenever a legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, any number of target players each mill a card and lose 1 life. So each player, so it should just read, when this guy enters the battlefield, this enchantment enters the battlefield, all my opponents discard a card.
Mm-hmm.
And not maybe yourself too. I don't know. Maybe you want to put a card in the graveyard.
Hey, that's true. Yeah, if you're trying to do some uh graveyard recursion tactics. But what I like is the legendary creature in the battlefield you control any number of target players, mill a card and lose a life. So if you can create a loop of a legendary creature entering, you're gonna win.
Yeah, you could do that. You could create a loop if I mean it's a stretch. First one that comes on my head is Emil the Blessed, blinking cannon. I don't know, with a bloom tender out. You have this enchantment out, you win the game.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of cards that already take advantage of blink effects, but this is also another one that can do the same thing.
Yep. All right, where are you rating this thing?
I would say it is. I want to make it. I would like to make it exceeds, but I'm just say meets. It does a lot of good
Yeah.
things, but I don't think it does anything extraordinary.
Yeah, I'm gonna say meats also. I don't even know if we'll see it a lot, but meats only because it's something brand new. I can't really put my finger on what it reminds me of. One more, one more black card to talk about. What is it?
All right, this last one is going to be Insatiable Avarice. This one also, all these black cards just costed 1 black.
This one's
And so,
spree.
yeah, this one does have spree. But yeah, 1 black pip for the initial cost, and there's additional. It's a sorcery speed. And then the first ability for spree for 2 colorless. Search your library for a card, then shuffle and put that card on top, so a tutor. And then the next ability for 2 additional black, target player draws 3 cards and loses 3 life.
Okay. Only
Yes,
2
so
sprees. All right, so for 3 mana, it's a little bit better. Oh no, Grim Tutor puts it in your hand. This puts it on top.
yeah, it's so much slower.
Yeah, and then
Sorcery.
3 black mana. Target player draws 3 cards, loses 3 life. You can just
No
play
thanks.
Necropotence. Why don't you just play Necropotence and draw all the cards you want?
Yeah. This is like a
I hate to say this is the casual card.
yeah, this is like on par with what does Grim Tutor go to hand or does it go
Grim Tutor
to
goes to
top?
hand, but Grim Tutor is 2 black and a colorless.
2 black and a colorless, and this is
This is 2 colorless and a black, so a little bit better.
yeah, but this one goes on top of the library, and then the other one goes to the hand.
You're in a Tymna deck. You're going to draw the card every turn. You can cast
Yeah.
this, go to combat, then draw your card.
Uh, Too slow for me.
Too slow. It is a tutor. Because
Oh.
I play. There's that new tutor. It's 3 black and a colorless. But then if you get rid of like an artifact, you can bargain it. It's a Beseech the Mirror. I play Beseech the Mirror,
Yeah.
but then it gives me the chance to maybe cast the card for free. Maybe I give
Yeah,
this a shot. Maybe I give this a shot in Italian just because I'm only in 2 colors and that tutors are very important. Maybe.
I
So
mean, yeah, I
low.
mean, you have to ask yourself the question if you're playing these other tutors that do the same effect.
No, I
Do you
don't.
play the other ones?
No, I
mean,
don't.
yeah, I don't.
Grim Tutor? Yeah, I don't play Grim Tutor. I should play Grim Tutor. Oh yeah, good
Yeah.
call.
Yeah, if you're not playing the other ones, why would you play this one?
So we have
Not good enough.
does not meet.
Yep, not good enough.
Does not meet. All right, that wraps up
Nothing.
black.
Nothing's good enough for us.
Well, it's cEDH. Like, what's something that changed the format, right? Like, Orcish. What's a staple that's new? Orcish Bowmasters in the One Ring.
One Ring, Ragvan
no.
was pretty good whenever it came out.
Yeah, nothing's that good, right? So I think we're doing okay. We are at red. First card. New Magda. Magda's back. This one is Magda the Horde Master. For a colorless and a red, legendary creature dwarf berserker. Whenever you commit a crime, another new thing from this set, create a tapped treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Now, to commit a crime, targeting opponents, anything they control, and or cards in their graveyards is a crime. And then the bottom thing, sacrifice 3 treasures, create a 4/4 red dragon scorpion creature token with flying and haste. Activate only as a sorcery. So committing a crime. So basically targeting anything is a crime these days.
Targeting opponents.
Targeting opponents and anything they control. So destroying something.
I don't know. It just seems like a worse Magda.
It is a worse Magda. But if you're Magda, do you play this? I mean, it's a dwarf.
If you're hurting for a dwarf, but I don't play Magda, so I'm not sure if they're hurting for dwarfs.
So one who is going to enjoy this, one who makes 3 treasures a turn, Malcolm and Kedis.
Malcolm and Kedis, they sure do. 3 treasures a turn.
I think I'm going to give it a shot. I think
So you're just gonna try out making scorpion dragons?
Make some scorpion dragons and start swinging some 4/4s.
What do you usually do with the treasures?
Sometimes I just chill with them.
I guess. Yeah, I mean it's just gonna be
There's a lot of open slots in them. There's a lot of cards that can be taken out.
so I guess you're really only using you would only use this card for the second ability, the sacking the treasures to create a flyer, the 4/4
And maybe
flyer.
I'll make an incidental treasure every now and then.
How often are we killing creatures out here?
In is it? I do it quite often, I think, man.
Dang, I just don't remember killing creatures any recent memory
Chain
for
of
that.
Vapor. Chain of Vapor. A single target cyclonic rift.
Oh yeah, bouncing things, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot, like I said, in my Malcolm Kedis, there's a lot of open slots, a lot of things I can take out and it really won't make a difference. So I think I will give it a shot. I say meats.
For my personal play style, does not meet, but it might meet expectations for those decks that are committing crimes or want dwarfs or trying to do things with treasures. I can see like if you make a loop of infinite treasures with Dockside and then you just start sacking all your treasures, this will make you flyers with haste to kill the board.
That's true.
So I mean, at least you have that.
Yeah,
So I'd say just for that feature, I'd say meats.
Meats? I didn't even think about that. I was thinking, oh, I got 3 treasures left over. I'm just gonna make me a little dragon. Sometimes I have 8 treasures.
There you go. And then you'll be able to swing in the board and nobody's killing 4/4 dragons.
Yeah, and a lot of times, sometimes I just need to pressure the board, pressure some life. It makes people play a little differently when you pressure their life.
Oh, that would be, yeah. I haven't seen like any board wipes or very rarely people play cyclonic rifts. Like whenever
Yeah.
creatures hit the board, they usually just stay there
Mm-hmm.
or they get countered. But you can't counter sacking treasures.
And they're tapped. Big deal. They're tapped. I'll get rid of some tapped ones. All right. What's the next card?
Our next card we got is Return the Favor. It's a spree card and it's instant. But the initial cost is 2 red pips. And then for the additional cost for spree, for 1 colorless, copy target instant, spell, sorcery spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. You may choose new targets for the copy. And then the second and last ability is another +1 for colorless. Change the target of a target spell or ability with a single target. So this is kind of like
It's like dual caster mage
deflecting SWAT.
and deflecting SWAT. Now you get deflecting SWAT always going to be free,
Yep.
and then it's the same casting cost as a dual caster mage. I think red decks are going to love it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But
Copy their things.
Yeah, I feel like you and me, we're red splashers. We splash red only for the really, really, really good cards.
Yeah, I'm not a deck that tries to copy things or activated abilities. Like, I guess if you would want to ever do this, like copy an ETB,
Copying ETB.
triggered ability.
Copy it for 3 mana. I'll take a dockside ETB.
Yeah, that'd be like the only thing I could see whenever I'm ever going to use that. Change the target of a spell. Probably that one too, if I was ever going to play the card.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that's only but they're both 3 mana. One would be really cool.
Yeah.
First ability, and you're playing. Let's say you're playing Timna Jeska, and you have mana open. Copy the ET or copy the triggered ability of. Can you do this? Does this work? Copy the triggered ability of an opponent's Thassa's Oracle, and in your Mardu deck you have your own Tainted Pact. Can you do that? Does that work? Is that a triggered ability or that's an ETB?
I think ETB is a triggered ability upon entering the battlefield as a triggered ability, right?
Okay.
I'm not sure.
That'd be cool.
Comment section could tell us.
That'd be cool.
And then you could change the new target to that ability. That's kind of funny. Yeah.
Man, seeing both abilities are pretty good.
They are kind of good, but me personally, never play it.
Meats. I could go either way, but I'll go with meats right now.
I could do meats too. I could see like in different decks that care about these type of things, it could probably be one step above. But
yeah,
for me personally, for the decks I play, not seeing a lot of action.
Not seeing any action out of these decks. Last red card we're going to talk about is uncommon creature, Mage Bane Lizard. 1 and a red. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, Mage Bane Lizard deals damage to that player equal to the number of non-creature spells they've cast this turn. So it stops storming off.
Which I like.
It stops storming off. And it's a 1/4.
It is, yeah, it's a beefy blocker.
Yeah.
For 2 mana.
It's just gonna chill. Even if any incidental damage, it's gonna be worth it. Non-creature spells only. You're just sitting back in your red deck and you have your thing that we just talked about.
Return the favor.
Yep, you have Return the Favor in your hand, and you got the Mage Bane Lizard out, and you're watching two blue players just go over a counter war.
And then this seals the deal.
This is it. But does this stop? It'll do a lot of damage on an Underworld Breach combo. I don't know if it kills the player.
I don't know if it kills them either. I guess it depends on what life total they're at the time.
Yeah.
Because it depends on the storm effect. But I know recently, like somebody brain froze me. Remember that game? And I had to it was like 20 or so. I'm like, this would be like really good in that moment.
But I don't think it counts storm copies. Only when you cast it. You don't cast a copy.
That is true.
So it's like I cast Underworld Breach, that's 1 damage. I cast Lion's Eye Diamond, that's 2 damage. I'll cast a Brain Freeze, targeting myself, that's 3 damage. And then You have to like recast that LED, 4 damage, recast the brain freeze, 5 damage. So after a while, it stops because that brain freeze for the second time around on a breach combo, it's gonna be pretty big. So
Yeah.
you'll mill yourself out pretty quickly or mill the opponents. So I think incidentally it'll do some damage. And now that I just said that in my head, I think this is just a meats.
Yeah, it doesn't seem as good.
I think it's just a meats. I like that it has a big butt at 1/4.
Yeah, that's good.
So like a Tim Majeska deck maybe plays this. I don't know. Because
Yeah, I'm not sure.
a 1/4 might even be able to attack a creep like an Esper Sentinel. You know, it'll attack the Esper Sentinel player and get through, and that draws you a card.
That's true.
All right,
Yeah, meats for me too. Yeah,
meats.
I thought it would be better but after discussing the brain freeze stuff and the storm, I thought it would be hitting storm, but it doesn't. Yeah.
All right, last color in the color pie is gonna be green. With green reminds me a lot of blue. I didn't see a lot green. They say it's the worst color in cEDH, and I don't know. I don't know what kind of help it got.
Yeah, we're about to find out.
We're about to find out.
First card we got is Bristly Bill, Spine Sour or Sower.
Bristly Bill.
Bristly Bill's all he's gonna go by. One colorless and a green legendary creature, plant druid. He has a landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Then for 3 colorless and 2 green, double the number of 1/1 counters on each creature you control. So this is more for a landfall deck.
Landfall deck. We see any of those?
No, I mean maybe the only deck that I see like plays a lot of lands. I haven't even seen this deck played recently. Is Tulane.
Tulane. Landfall.
Yeah, shout out to Tulane, but I haven't seen that deck played in a minute.
Double the number of counters. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed, I guess.
Yeah,
Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control.
I mean with this combined with what's that green legendary creature that makes all of your creatures lands?
Ashaya?
The Shia. This with the Shia would give you like a lot of ETBs just because whenever you play creatures.
Well, we don't see Ashaya is just a part in the 99 of other green decks, isn't it?
Yeah, I played in Animar and Savala, but and I'm talking about Ashaya.
I think it does not meet.
Yeah, this is for the casual decks that are trying to pop
Landfall.
off and do
Landfall?
trying to do cute things.
Landfall? Fetch lands? They're trying to play. They're playing Evolving Wilds. Go and get a tap basic. 2 triggers.
Yeah, I like this is a card that'll be on Arena for sure, and I'll probably be seeing that all over Arena.
I want to make it on Arena. I mean, and these cards may be made for standard play. They'd probably be pretty good in standard.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna move on. We talked about all the sprees. We're gonna talk about another one. This is Smuggler's Surprise for 1 green, and then it has spree of +2 colorless. Mill 4 cards. You may put up to 2 creature and or land cards from among them, or from among the milled cards into your hand, or for a big amount, +4 and a green. You may put up to 2 creature cards from your hand onto the battlefield, so 6 mana total. And then for 1 colorless, creatures you control with power 4 or greater gain hexproof and indestructible till end of turn. This is an instant. Power 4
Instant.
anybody? So it's an instant heroic intervention, but for big things only. We got any of those? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's an instant that I hate. Yeah, I don't.
Mill 4. Put 2. 2 creatures from your hand onto the battlefield for 6 mana. Is that the best? Is that the best ability on this card? 6 mana. Put 2 creatures out.
Yeah, not good enough for me. I mean, if this was like if it was cheaper in every category, I would definitely play this in like Animar or Savala, my main green decks. But I feel like they're just better cards that do the same thing for protection. or getting creatures out.
Does not meet.
Yeah, ain't meeting my expectations.
All right. And I lied again. We have one more spree card. What is it, man?
Sure do. This one's called Trash the Town. We all been there, am I right? Start off. We'll start off with one green. Then it will spree off into 3 different categories. First category is 2 colorless. Put 2 1/1 counters on target creature. The next category is a +1 colorless. Target creature gains trample at the end of turn. And then the last category is a +1 colorless. Until end of turn, target creature gains. Whenever this creature does combat damage to a player, draw 2 cards.
All right. Better. Here's how we should do this. Which one is your favorite category on that? Which one's your favorite ability?
We got counter, 2 1 counters, trample, or whenever this thing does drawing cards.
Yeah,
Draw 2 cards is good.
Two mana, draw 2. If you're in green, maybe you need that.
Yeah.
2 counters could be cool if like you got your dorks are getting sniped up from an Orcish Bowmasters.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for the first ability, I know Savala thrives off of big creatures, but they're just way cheaper spells that pump creatures to tap her. So for 3 mana is too much.
For 3 mana, but then for 2 mana, you can draw some cards. Draw 2.
Yeah, 2 mana, I can draw some cards. I still would never play it.
I don't think so. I will show some love to Trash the Town. I will say this is the best green card that we've talked about.
Yeah, I mean, it's got some pretty cool art. I'll give it that.
I'm still going to say does not meet.
Yeah, same.
All right, we're going to wrap things up with the multicolored cards. We will talk about what we want, and we will just know the fact that a lot of these cards, they have it's like new names of same commanders that we know and love, except these ones are all worse.
They are indeed.
They're worse. The first one I'm talking about is a new one, new commander. Legendary creature, Gem Lightfoot, Sky Explorer. This is 2 for a white and a blue for a 3/3 flying vigilance human scout. At the beginning of your end step, if you haven't cast a spell from your hand this turn, draw a card. So immediately, my thought is, this is my commander. I'm in blue and white. I'm playing Grand Arbiter. I'm playing everything that everybody hates. This game is going to be 2 hours. I'm going to draw a card, and I'm going to pass the turn. And I'll take another card.
Yep. Beginning your end step, if you haven't cast a spell from your hand this turn, draw a card. I mean, it does draw you cards.
Draws you cards.
No matter whose turn it is. It just says if you haven't cast a spell from your hand this turn. No, it says at your end step. Oh, okay.
So it's only 1 card.
So I hate it.
I mean, I don't think I would play it, but I think it's interesting.
Casual deck. Yeah, I think it's for casuals.
You think the casuals play just draw pass? I'll say meets.
Yeah, they're probably doing a lot of what the hell's that ability called where they just pay a couple mana, put in exile, and then they can cast it later. Whatever that's called.
Foretell.
Yeah, foretell some cards.
You can't cast things from your hand, so where are you going to cast it from?
Yeah.
Top of your deck? I don't know.
This is does not meet for me.
It does not meet. I could see it. I mean,
it ain't going to be played in cEDH, I don't think.
I guess you're right. Yeah, maybe I was thinking of it like a casual.
4 mana for booty.
It does draw your card from the command zone.
I guess.
All right, what's next, man? What's next?
All right, next legendary creature that we have is Doc Orlock. I don't know how to pronounce that first name. Orlock. Grizzle Genius. Green and a blue, so 2 mana. Bear Druid. Spells you cast from your graveyard or from exile cost 2 less to cast. And then plotting cards from your hands cost 2 less to cast. So this is obviously a commander built for the new abilities for plotting.
And it helps you make your Underworld Breach stuff be cheaper.
That's true. Yeah, if you're a graveyard lover, for casting spells, then this is definitely going to help you out on that
Yep.
side of things. But for me personally,
Yeah.
ain't playing it.
Yeah, like so I play like 5-color Kenrith. I try to Underworld Breach from time to time. Do I see myself playing this? Nah.
No way. Spells you cast from your graveyard or exile cost that much less to cast. I never cast spells from graveyard. I mean, from my exile.
Yeah, because
And
what do I cast for my graveyard? Lion's Eye Diamond. It's already free.
ain't happening. Yeah,
Nah.
it's just this is just a card built for the new format of features coming out. Does not meet for me.
Does not meet. Does not meet. Does not meet. All right, next one. This one. Pretty good. Pretty good. Kumbal, Profiteering Mayor for 1, a white and a black. Legendary Human Advisor. Whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your opponent's control, for each of them, create a tapped token that's a copy of it. This ability triggers only once each turn. And then whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
All right, so whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your opponent's control, for each of them, create a tapped token that's a copy of it. That's true. So let's say somebody plays a dock side and they get 5 treasures. So here it says whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield, you will create a tap token that's a copy of it. Do you only get 1 treasure or do you get all 5?
I think you get all 5.
Whenever one or more.
This is the worst card if we don't know the rules of this card. This is the worst card. I'll have to
Yeah.
untap with whatever I get. I'll have to untap with it. So the ceiling is meats. If you're right and we're reading it wrong, or I'm reading it wrong and you're reading it right, does not meet. See you later, Kumbal. Just another
Yeah.
bad version. Just another bad version of Kumbal. Just like all these other cards.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if we get the same amount of copy tokens that the opponent gets, then that's pretty good. Like especially like even like Tivit. Like if I'm laying down Tivit, I get 5
Yep.
tokens, right?
Oh yeah. If you had, oh yeah, yeah.
Then somebody else is going to get 5 tokens.
Yeah, it'll stop me from cloning Tivit. One of my favorite things to do. Phantasmal imaging my own Tivit.
Yeah, I think it was like one game where we had 3 Tivits. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
But yeah, I think this card is exceeding some.
I think it's a 99.
That.
It's in the 99, right? It's not a commander. It'd be in the 99 if anything.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it can meet some expectations in the 99.
All right. The next card we have is Sarturo, the Infiltrator. It is 1 blue and 1 black. Legendary creature, human ninja rogue. All the names right there.
Yep.
It's a 2/3 that has menace. Whenever
or Menace, as some people like to call it.
Menace, shout out to you. You know who you are. Whenever this dude enters, okay, whenever Sarturo the Infiltrator and one or more other non-token creatures enter the battlefield under your control, if none of them were cast or no mana was spent to cast them, draw a card. So obviously this is for a
Yuriko.
Yeah, ninjutsu deck.
Yeah, Yuriko, ninjutsu only. So that's it. That's all I see it.
Yeah, very specific to that one, yeah.
In the 99 of Yuriko. And only draws you a card when you actually do ninja things.
Yes, yeah, super specific to just that feature that they do for
you can cast a Mem Knight.
Yeah, I mean for Sisei, she's not casting them. I mean she's not paying mana.
Oh, that's true.
Right? It's just a search to play.
Ability, yeah.
I mean for a 2-drop, that gives me 2 colors from a legendary creatures already. For Sisei, and then whenever I'm doing Sisei things, this thing will draw me cards. So
Is it
I
go?
think
Is it going in Sisse?
I mean, I'll think about it for sure. I mean, yeah, it's a 2-drop. That's a 2/3, so it's already a blocker for some good things. And then it could draw me cards whenever Sisei's doing her searching features. I don't know what I'll cut from it, but I'll definitely, it's a possibility, yeah, for sure.
What are we thinking? Meats?
I'll say meats, yeah. It could be
Meats.
upgraded depending on the usage
Meats.
afterwards, but yeah.
All right, next one. It's poor man's Crom. Crom. We all love Crom, but this one's Crom Violent Cacophony for 2, a blue and a red. Legendary zombie horror with flying. When you cast your second spell each turn, put a 1/1 counter on Crom and draw a card. It's a 2/3. So old Crom, when the opponents play 2 spells, you draw a card. This one, you got to play 2 spells, and then you get to draw a card, and then you get a 1/1 counter.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like it.
I don't like it either. Like, and I always talk about my Malcolm Caddis deck. The biggest problem it has is drawing cards.
Yeah.
A lot of times I have a lot of mana and nothing to do. So I look for any way I can draw cards, but I think I'd rather even have Ledger Shredder. Ledger Shredder,
Yeah.
when everybody
cheaper.
casts 2 spells, I do have to draw and discard, so it's card selection. Card selection, but then it's 2 mana compared to 4 mana.
Yeah, casting 2 spells each turn.
Yeah.
Like,
I think the
That's-
art's cool. I think the art's cool.
the art is cool,
I think the art's cool. I'll give the
but
art
yeah.
to exceed some. I'll give the card. Does not meet. Especially does not meet, man. Does not.
Yeah, if this was like a blue and a red,
Yeah.
It-
A 2, yeah, like a 2/2 blue and a red. That'd be, yeah. This is 4 mana.
4 mana, that's asking a lot from you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm also in the does not meet category.
All right, we got one more card to talk about. All right, that wraps up our cEDH set review for Outlaws of Thunder Junction, our first set review ever. So I'm interested to see how we're going to do in the future. If you like this stuff, or if we got something wrong, leave it in the comments. But don't forget to like or subscribe to Missing Triggers. We're
Yep.
commanding all battlefields.
And if we did leave out any cards that were vital to the operations of cEDH, roast this in the comment section below.
Please.
And we will delete them immediately.
Yes, we will.
Remember
All
your
right.
triggers. Go
Hey.
Carolina Panthers, baby.